Imagine an internet where you didn't have to trust anyone. No banks, no giant corporations, no single government controlling your data or your transactions. Sounds like a sci-fi dream, right? Or maybe a bit unsettling. For decades, our digital world has been built on trust in middlemen. The banks holding your money, social media companies holding your photos, governments holding your records. But what if the internet itself could trust itself? What if every piece of information, every transaction, every record could be verified and secured by a global network instead of a single powerful entity? That's not a dream, it's blockchain. You've heard the hype, maybe seen the headlines about crypto fortunes and NFTs, but deep down, what is this mysterious technology? Is it just for tech bros and digital art? Or does it hold the key to a fundamentally more transparent and trustworthy future? Today, GENSHIFT is demystifying blockchain. We're going beyond the jargon and the speculation to uncover the true genius of a system built on inherent trust. Ready to rethink the internet as you know it? Hit that subscribe button now to join us in decoding the technologies shaping our world. One, the central lie, why we need trustless systems. We've been sold a central lie. The lie is that centralized systems, the massive walled-off databases run by banks, governments, and tech giants, are the safest way to manage our world. It feels intuitive, right? A single powerful vault must be more secure than 1,000 open notebooks. But this intuition is dangerously wrong. In reality, centralization is a bug, not a feature. It creates a single point of failure, a giant, glowing target for anyone with malicious intent. When that central server gets breached, the consequences are catastrophic. In 2023, a vulnerability in a single piece of file transfer software called MoveIt led to the data of over 93 million individuals being compromised across nearly 3,000 organizations. The same year, hackers used recycled passwords to access 14,000 accounts at the genetics company 23andMe, which then cascaded, exposing the sensitive data of 5.5 million users. This isn't just a technical problem, it's a trust problem. And if you feel a deep sense of skepticism towards these institutions, you're not alone. You're being rational. A 2025 Edelman report found that a staggering 58% of Gen Z feel a moderate or high sense of grievance against social institutions. In the US, half of your generation reports having very little trust in Congress. This isn't abstract cynicism. It's an evidence-based response to a system that has repeatedly failed to protect its users. Having grown up in the long shadow of the 2008 financial crisis, your generation questions the goodwill of financial entities. You're acutely aware of cybersecurity risks and demand more control over your data. The core issue isn't a few bad actors, it's a flawed architecture. Relying on a central authority to secure data and verify transactions means putting all your faith in a single, fallible entity. It means trusting they have perfect security, that they won't misuse your data, and that they'll always act in your best interest. But the evidence shows that trust is often misplaced. The central lie has unraveled, revealing the need for a system that doesn't rely on trusting a middleman. We need a system where trust is built into the code itself. 2. Blockchain's core idea, the immutable digital ledger. So, if we can't trust a central authority, what's the alternative? The answer lies in a radical idea. Instead of one private, protected ledger, what if we had one public, shared ledger? This is the core concept of blockchain. Forget the complex crypto jargon for a moment and picture something simple, a communal digital diary. Imagine a village where every important event, every sale, every agreement, every birth is written down in a shared notebook that everyone in the village possesses a copy of. When a new entry is made, it's announced to everyone, and they all update their copy of the notebook at the same time. This is, in essence, what a blockchain is, a shared, distributed ledger. It's a database that isn't stored in one central location, like a bank server, but is duplicated and spread across a vast network of computers, often called nodes. When a new transaction or piece of data is added, it's broadcast to this entire network. Because every participant has access to the ledger and its history, the system is inherently transparent. Everyone can see the same version of the truth, which eliminates the kind of information asymmetry that allows for manipulation in centralized systems. But transparency is only half the story. The real genius of this communal diary is that once an entry is written and agreed upon, it can never be erased or altered. If someone tried to secretly change an entry in their copy of the notebook, it would immediately mismatch with everyone else's. Their fraudulent version would be rejected by the community. This property is called immutability, and it's what makes a blockchain a tamper-proof and incredibly reliable record of information. The information is recorded only once, creating a single, permanent source of truth that all participants can rely on without needing to trust each other individually. This simple but profound shift from a private, alterable ledger controlled by one entity to a public, immutable ledger maintained by many is the foundational breakthrough that allows the internet to, for the first time, trust itself. 3. Anatomy of trust: blocks, hashing, and consensus. So, how does this digital diary work? How does it enforce this unbreakable, unchangeable trust? It comes down to 3 key components working in perfect harmony: blocks, hashing, and consensus. First, let's talk about the pages of our diary. The blocks. Instead of recording every single transaction one by one, a blockchain groups them into batches. Each batch of data, which could be financial transactions, supply chain information, or even votes, is collected into a block. Think of it like a transparent crystal box. Inside this box, you can see all the details of the recent transactions. Who did what, when, and where. Each block is also given a unique timestamp, marking the exact moment it was created, ensuring everything happens in the correct chronological order. Now for the magic. Once a block is filled with data, it needs to be sealed. This is where cryptographic hashing comes in. A hash is a complex mathematical function that takes any amount of digital information, the entire contents of our crystal box, and converts it into a short, fixed-length string of letters and numbers that is unique. You can think of this hash as the block's digital fingerprint. It's a one-of-a-kind identifier. Here's the crucial part. If you change even a single character of the data inside the block, add a comma, change a number, the hashing function will produce a completely different, unrecognizable digital fingerprint. This is known as the avalanche effect. This seal is what makes the block tamper evident, but it gets even more secure. When a new block is created, its digital fingerprint, its hash, doesn't just identify its contents, it also mathematically incorporates the unique digital fingerprint of the previous block. This is what creates the chain. Each block is cryptographically linked to the one before it, forming a continuous and ever-strengthening chain of data reaching back to the very first transaction. To alter a past block, a hacker wouldn't just have to break its seal and recalculate its fingerprint. They would also have to recalculate the fingerprint of the next block, and the next, and every single block that came after it, all while the rest of the network is adding new blocks. It's a computational impossibility, making the history of the blockchain effectively permanent and unchangeable. But who gets to add a new sealed block to the chain? This is where the final piece, consensus, comes in. In a centralized system, a single administrator decides what's true. In a decentralized network, the crowd decides. A consensus mechanism is the set of rules the network uses to agree on the validity of new blocks before they are added. Imagine our village with the communal diary again. Before a new page is added, a majority of the villagers must gather, review the new entries to make sure they're valid, and give a collective thumbs up. Only then is the page officially added to everyone's book. Blockchain consensus works similarly, but with computers and code. Before a new block is chained, it's broadcast to the network, and the participating nodes automatically run checks to verify its legitimacy. Through mechanisms like proof of work, where nodes compete to solve a complex math puzzle, or proof of stake, where participants put their assets on the line to vouch for a block's validity, the network achieves a distributed agreement, a consensus, that the new block is true and can be added to the chain. This democratic process prevents any single person or group from adding fraudulent data or rewriting the past. It's the ultimate check on power, ensuring the ledger remains honest and secure for everyone. 4. Beyond crypto, the trust-building power of blockchain. This elegant architecture of trust, decentralized, immutable, and transparent, has implications far beyond digital currencies. While crypto gets the headlines, the real revolution is how blockchain can rebuild trust in the systems that shape our daily lives, aligning perfectly with Gen Z's demand for authenticity and fairness. Consider the global supply chain. Right now, it's often a black box. You buy a coffee or a t-shirt, but you have no real way of knowing if it was ethically sourced. blockchain changes that. By recording every step of a product's journey on an immutable ledger, from the farm to the factory to the shelf, companies can provide a verifiable, tamper-proof record of its origin. A simple QR code scan could show you the exact farm your coffee beans came from, when they were harvested, and that the farmer was paid a fair price. This isn't theoretical. Companies like DHL and Oracle are already using blockchain to track shipments and ensure the integrity of their logistics. This technology empowers you to support brands that align with your values on sustainability and human rights. Or think about your own identity. Currently, your digital identity is fragmented and controlled by corporations and governments. You prove who you are using documents they issue and logins they control. Blockchain enables what's called self-sovereign identity. It allows you to have a secure, portable digital identity that you own and control. You could prove you're over 21 without revealing your birth date or home address, sharing only the specific piece of information required for a transaction. This gives you back control over your data, solving the privacy paradox by letting you decide what to share, when, and with whom. The potential applications are vast. In healthcare, blockchain can create a secure, unified record of a patient's medical history that they control, giving doctors a complete picture to make better diagnoses while ensuring patient privacy. For artists and musicians, it can create an undeniable, time-stamped proof of creation for their intellectual property, automating royalty payments through smart contracts every time their work is used. There are even pilot projects exploring blockchain-based voting systems, aiming to create a process that is fully transparent, auditable, and secure, where every citizen could verify their vote was counted correctly. While challenges like scalability and security in such critical applications remain and must be addressed cautiously, the potential is clear. Blockchain isn't just a financial tool, it's a foundational technology for building a more accountable, transparent, and trustworthy world. Conclusion. So what is blockchain? It's more than just the engine behind Bitcoin. It's a new design for trust. It's a response to the failures of a centralized world that has, time and again, broken our confidence. By distributing power, making records permanent, and operating with total transparency, blockchain offers a new way to interact, transact, and collaborate online without needing to trust a powerful middleman. Understanding this technology isn't about becoming a crypto trader. It's about being equipped to understand the next evolution of the internet. It's about recognizing the tools that can build the more fair and transparent future that so many of us are demanding. What part of this trust revolution excites you the most? Let us know in the comments below. And if you're ready to keep decoding the future, make sure you subscribe to GENSHIFT and hit that notification bell. The world is changing fast, and we'll be here to break it down with you.